Hello students, welcome to online study center of Fun and Learn School. In the last video, we have discussed globalization, its advantages and disadvantages, and also we have seen the nuclear war threat glooming around the world. In this video, we will discuss the topic overpopulation, poverty and hunger. So let's take it one by one. The first is overpopulation. See in the picture given below on page number 148 here you can see the overpopulation in picture. Overpopulation in picture you can see it. Now, what is the overpopulation and how it is affecting us? You know that the earth has limited resources and there is limited arable land and living space. When there were fewer people, less number of people, the resources available were sufficient for all. But now, with so many more people are in the world, the consumption of resource has increased manifold and the resources are getting depleted and there is a burden on the natural resources. So what has happened today? Today the world population has crossed the 7 billion mark, and if the present rate of population growth continues, there will be more than 10 billion people on earth by 2050, and one in every five will be an Indian. So, so this is the serious implication of overpopulation that the world is facing today, as well as our country is facing today. One example you can say that let's take an example is the shortages of drinking water, particularly in towns and cities. If you have overpopulation, this is has become a serious problem of drinking water in the uh, 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 towns and cities because of the overpopulation. So now we take the disadvantages of overpopulation. We will take it briefly. We will take it briefly. Now, first is overpopulation leads to food shortages, definitely. Second, it leads to degradation of environment in terms of increased pollution, rapid deforestation. Number three, it leads to depletion of natural resources. This is burden on the natural resources increased now. It has caused ecological imbalances as well, and it all has also led to poverty as the available resources are shared by large number of people, so the poverty has also increased. So these are the few disadvantages of the overpopulation. Now we will take the case study of India of overpopulation, what has done to it in with our country. What has it done? Now, for any country to progress, the population should match the available resources available to that country. But in our case, in India's case, there is a major mismatch. Mismatch. We have the second largest populated country, and the natural resources is not up to the that mark to match the population. So what has happened that we have become the second most populous country after China, and according to 2011 census, our population is 1.2 billion, and but our population growth is much higher than China. So we will we will expect to overtake China in another 10 to 12 years. After 12 years, we will overtake the China and will become the most populous country in the world. So this has created a huge imbalance in our country, and this is the serious problem that our country is facing today. We need to get rid of that problem. So you have seen the overpopulation disadvantages, and in our case in India, what has happened with the overpopulation. Now let's take the next topic is poverty. Now, the overpopulation that we have discussed has a very much relationship with poverty. Overpopulation and poverty are interrelated. Most overpopulated countries, including India, are poor. According to Mahatma Gandhi, what he has said, poverty is the worst form of violence. So, the Indian government or our country is facing this a a serious problem of poverty. The Indian government has started many projects to help the people who are below poverty line. Government has taken the initiative to raise the people from the poverty level to a standard living their mark. So this is the problem that our country is facing today, the poverty. Next topic is hunger. Hunger. Now poverty leads to hunger. When there is a very much predominant poverty, it will always lead to the hunger. And millions of people today suffer from malnutrition and hunger, and the situation all over the world is around, in some countries are very bad. In fact, in some continents like in Asia, Africa, and in South America, in those continents, the countries, some countries are very poor, and a population of these countries are facing the serious problem of hunger. So according to the estimation of United Nations, about 12 million people in East Africa, with 4 million in Somalia alone, are in urgent need to food aid. Means if they do not get the food aid, they will not survive. They will die of starvation. So we have seen the this important topic of overpopulation, its disadvantages. Case study we have seen in India's case, and the poverty and hunger we have seen that how it has prevalent in the world as well as in our country. So I hope you have understood the topic. So in the two videos we have covered almost 80% of this chapter, and in the last video I will conclude this chapter. So take care of yourself for that time being. Thank you. Have a nice day.